Bernardo, thank you for talking to us about this. It should be an interesting insight for us to learn about the way that you prepare for games. Your manager said recently that you don't have a position, you just play football. Is that how you see it? Is that how it feels to you as a Manchester City player?
Well, yeah, I'd like to believe that I understand quite well the game. So depending on which position I'm playing, I need to prepare differently, and I need to do stuff in a very different way.
Has this adaptability always been a feature of your game, or is it something that Pep's taught you?
No, it's been. I think I've always been a little bit like this. Very interested in the game. Very interested in knowing what different positions require. Even asking questions, for example, to Ruben Dias. He's a centre back, knowing what he does and knowing how is his mindset for the games, or a striker or a winger. And yeah, that prepared me well for example, now knowing what to do, and Pep asked me to play different positions. But of course, when I joined Man City and when I started working with Pep, I developed a lot, and I started understanding the game in a very different way.
We've got some clips to show you then of some of the roles that you've played in recent times. So this is perhaps the first Bernardo Silva that we saw in the Premier League playing right wing. This is from the Newcastle game earlier on in the season. I wonder if you can talk to us about what's going through your mind at this point in the game.
Okay, so let me just stop it. When I play right winger, it's about impacting the game mostly in an offensive way. So creating chances, dribble, be very aggressive, and try to bring the team up, because we know how good we are in the final third. So to transport the ball as far as you can, to bring the team to then control the game in their final third, and breathe a little bit, and to try as much as possible to impact the game also with goals and assists. So it's a very offensive mindset, knowing that you always have your defensive contributions and high pressing, and our pressing is a very important part of our game.
But more freedom with the ball.
But more freedom of mind, and there's not as much responsibility. Of course, there's always responsibility, but the more you go back on the pitch, the bigger you have you feel the responsibility that you cannot make mistakes. Here, you can make mistakes. You can take more risks. You can go more for it. Back there, you just don't go for it.
No,
you play safe.
And we'll come to that definitely.
Yeah.
In this particular clip, the way that you interact with Kevin De Bruyne to set the goal up is interesting. How does that relationship work? Because obviously you said before about understanding other roles. This is a role that you play, so that interaction's key for City, isn't it?
So Kevin, this is a movement that Kevin does very well in the channel, and if the defender doesn't follow him, I'll just play him the ball, because he's so good in that one-touch cross, and his final decision is so good. And if I see that the defender is following, which was the case in this clip, I just try to come in the middle, because the defenders followed him, thought that I was playing to Kevin, and yeah, it opened my channel to then find the cross to Gundogan, and yeah, as I said, taking more risks in the final third, being more aggressive than when I play in other positions.
Let me show you the next clip then. This is more in a central area. Now I know that you play in an attacking role and a holding role in midfield, but again, what aspect of your ability does this play on the role when you're in the middle of the pitch?
Well, this is a special play, but this is
you can say that again.
This is not what a midfielder playing in the midfield is about. Playing in the midfield is about controlling the tempo of the game. It's about connecting your team. So when you play in the middle, you're connecting everything, because when the team is pressing, you're giving you're shouting to your attacking players that when they can go, and you're giving the signal to your defenders of when they can jump as well, because you're jumping.
Do you all do that, or is that something that's specific to you?
No, I think all midfielders, all good midfielders should do that. So when you play there, you're connecting your defense and your attack. It's like It's like when defenders they're connecting the goalkeeper with the midfielders, and it's a different job. But it's a very tough position. I think it's playing, especially when you play closer to holding midfielder. I think it's the most difficult position on the pitch, because also with the ball, you need to have the awareness of where the players are coming from, which is not easy, because when you play right winger, I know that I have the line behind me, so there's no one coming from behind. So I see everything, and when I'm in the middle of the pitch, I can have a guy coming from here and from here and from here. So it's a very difficult position, not just offensively but also defensively, because it demands a lot of running. It's where you run the most. But it's my favorite position, if you ask me.
I was going to actually, so you
my
preempted
favorite.
that. Just play it through. I mean, you
No,
said
this
before
was
it's special.
Yeah, it was a special play.
Do you
because
know where you're going at this point? Are you
no,
just working it out
I had
touch
no
by
clue.
touch?
I have no clue of where I'm going. I just need to get out of there and try to escape the players. And it was a beautiful play, because then I could find Phil.
You're quite annoyed with Phil. That he
I'm
didn't put
very
that
annoyed
way,
with Phil, because he should have scored this chance. No, but yeah, it's demanding. As I said, when you're in the middle of the pitch, you have these kind of situations where sometimes you have the ball and you have like 3-4 players trying to get you
in front, behind, to the side, left, right.
And yeah, sometimes it's tough, but it's a really nice position. Very demanding, but my favorite position.
Let's show you the next one then. This is the more recent adaptation that you've had for Manchester City. Before I pass it to you, if you knew at the start of this campaign that in one of the most important matches in the Premier League season you'd be playing left back, what would you have thought?
No, I wouldn't have thought of it, to be honest, because I've been at Man City for almost 6 years, and I've always played right winger, false nine, offensive midfielder, or max close to Rodri or Fernandinho, defensive midfielder. I would never think in the beginning of the season that I would do that position, but now the way that we're building up and the way that the manager wants us to start our play. One of our fullbacks comes a little bit inside, before with Rico, now and also in the past with Zinchenko or with Fabian Delph. So not having with Cancelo leaving and not having that player anymore, and with Kyle playing on the right, he thought that I could do this position, and yeah, I'm very happy to help, and I'm trying to do my best to do as well as possible to help the team winning games.
Be honest, what did you think when Pep first sat you down and said, right, Bernardo, this is the role I want you to play?
No, I think I'll be very honest. It's not my natural position, obviously. No one is stupid enough to think that. And
especially this clip challenging Bukayo Saka is a different skill,
because I'm not a quick player, and if I play against the very quick wingers, it's going to be tough. But I felt that I could do it, because I think that I'm quite a good defender. I know the spaces that I have to occupy. I know how to defend on a 1v1 situations, but obviously with my the physical aspect and not being as quick as most fullbacks are, I can suffer quite a lot in these positions in sometimes. But I felt that I could do it, and I think I've done quite well the 2 games that I played there. And it's a very different position, because you lose your offensive mindset. You just don't care anymore about playing the offensive part. It's about not making, especially in the big games, Arsenal, not making mistakes, controlling well Bukayo Saka, and then a lot of different tough decisions that you have to make. Because, for example, playing specifically about Saka, is much quicker than me. So when I see that the ball can be played to my side, I need to give him 2-3 meters. I need to stay 2-3 meters in behind, because if I go from the same line as him, he'll be faster than me and he will beat me. And at the same time, I cannot be too far behind, because I need to hold the line. Otherwise, I'll just play the other winger or the striker on sides, because I have to hold the line with my defenders.
In this clip as well, actually, the communication between Rodri and Nathan Ake as well for you is quite important, and I guess that again is a different aspect. You're passing Ødegaard on, you're going back in to mark Bukayo Saka and swapping over with Nathan too. That's a totally different aspect for you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different because in the high pressing, sometimes I could jump to Ødegaard. But then the transition of jumping to Ødegaard leaving him not in a position where he could receive the ball, but giving him to another of our players and coming back as a fullback, that's a quite far transition, and sometimes it was not easy, but I think we did it quite well. If you look at the game, we controlled quite well those situations, knowing how strong he is in keeping the ball, how good he is. I'm a big fan of him because he's such a good player. And also I tried to be quite aggressive in the first place, because I know if I know if I gave him a bit of confidence, that it would be tough for me. So yeah.
Which one of these is you, Bernardo? Which do you think is you at your best, at your truest self?
No, I think my best position is playing as a midfielder, is playing as a number 8 or a number 10, preferably on a little bit on the right side, because it's where I feel my dribble is better. Because when I'm playing on the left side, I feel like I lose a little bit my dribble. Yeah. But yeah, I can play in very different positions, and I'm happy with all of them, to be honest.
Thank you for giving us that insight.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you very much. Cheers.
Ya que nos encontraste, no olvides suscribirte a nuestra página para disfrutar de las mejores jugadas de la Premier League, lo más destacado de las Chivas Rayadas del Guadalajara y todas las novedades del mundo del deporte. Te esperamos.